right, guys, the all 22 of Commanders versus Dolphins, it's coming out. It's supposed to be out, I think, now. I've been looking for it. I got some pro thing where you're supposed to be able to get it early, but I can't figure it out. It's tech stuff. So I'm going to be doing a lot of film study. But I got a little bit of interesting stuff today. And no, I'm not going to cover the Flores Tua brouhaha, other than it's a big story. And Tua, he is in the media. He went to college for like media and stuff, public relations. And a story like this doesn't get released for no reason. I'm not going to side one way or the other. That just opens up the past. And it's really, I mean, there's some point to it, but not really right here. But the curiosity for me is, why now? You know, remember that even like big news organizations, they release stuff through, say, the government or the financial sector. They'll do it on like Friday, late Friday, so people forget about it over the weekend. Things are done on purpose. I don't know why. I mean, I don't think it was just a random thing. It was too big. But it is what it is. But I'm not going to cover that. I want to get into our receiver situation. It seems so unbelievable for us, really. But there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. A lot of inconsistency. There's some injury, good and bad news with Cam Smith and Poyer. But Cam Smith, I hope the best for him. But if he can go on that PUP, it opens the door for Storm Duck. Oh, whew, it's getting closer and closer to Curse's dream to get Storm Duck on this 53. So I'm going to get into the receiving group that we got. And it's a little curious now that Craycraft has been injured, and it's not season ending, but it's long term. He's going on the IR most likely. And so that means you're going to miss him for the first 4 or 5 games. So I'm going to show you the whole roster of what we got. And it's a little curious, especially if OBJ stays on a PUP and he's got to miss 4 games. So anyway, that's going to be what it is for today, guys. Still doing the Twitter thing. I'm trying to X thing. Curtis at Fins News 1. Come check me out there. I'm really putting a lot of content up, trying to. Actually, original content too. It's a key to this whole gig. Very scared about it. It's a wild place. It's like the wild, wild west. Unless you're like a gunslinger like Alf, I'm learning though, but I'm like, Drupal Long Cassidy compared to him. Anyway, so check me out there. I'm going to do the live this week on Friday. I'm putting it up today. If you have any ideas or things you want me to study out for that Friday live, just put in the comments, hey, Curtis, study this, or what do you think about this? And then I can put the time in. Maybe I get some film. Maybe I can get some analytics and stats, and I can have that for you on Friday. So come check me out Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, and that will be the whole deal. We'll have a good time there. So anyway, guys, the likes, the subscribes, the comments, the views, all that stuff keeps me in the biz. So I want to give you a shout out and a shout out to AceBird, my sponsor, because without the two of you, this show ain't going down. AceBird's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, before I get into the receivers, Poyer's back, fractured finger. I've had lots of them. I mean, I've had probably 4 or 5 fractured fingers. And it's not a break, it's a fracture. He'll be fine. He could play through it. Don't like a vet like that getting injured. He's kind of had some injuries, but maybe that's his injury for the season. Got off the table early. He's a big piece for us. So he'll be back. That is great, great news. But we had a bunch of injuries in the receiving group. I'll get to that next. But Cam Smith, he had some flaws to his game, and there was some pop, and I was really high on it. Then I found at the end of the game there was an injury. I was like, oh, a little bit. I saw him grabbing his side, but then in a special teams play, he pulled a hamstring, and he is week to week. And this is a lot of injuries, guys. I don't, even if you're the biggest Cam Smith supporter, I don't know how you can't be concerned. He's about 6 or 7 injuries, I think, or a bunch. I mean, 3 or 4 last year, 2 or 3 this year. This is not good signs. Either A, He's not taking care of himself. He doesn't know what it's to be a professional, kind of like Parker was for us for a number of years, or his body's just not designed for this game. He's a smaller guy, tall, skinny, smaller guy. Some guys are not designed for this game. They have all kinds of athletic talent. I'm hoping it's not the case. You could see this guy's got some skills, although in his red flags were in his personality, so that kind of coalesces into maybe he's not doing the right thing for his body. I don't know. But it's bad. It opens a door for Storm Duck. Storm Duck was the best cover guy we had, made special teams plays. Those special team plays will get him on here. I love Storm Duck. I want to see at some point Storm Duck and Bonner at the end. Sorry, old habits die hard. At those edges, it'd be unbelievable. Storm Duck, and in the last preseason games, I heard the announcers going, Storm Duck in coverage. It was unbelievable. But this guy's not just a name, a cool name, a really super duper cool name. He's playing really well. And I'm not a big Greer fan, but you've got to be honest. It's so easy just to fan out on everything. The greatest, the worst, the greatest of the worst. He sucks at finding offensive linemen for the most part. Hopefully Paul will bump that up. Hunt definitely bumped that up. Robert Jones is a nice little pocket find there. But mostly he's not that good. But when it comes to DBs, Boyer found Needham, Boyer found Kohu. But however you slice it, we've been picking up Eden Bonner and now Storm Duck. He finds a lot of good secondary guys. Outside the draft, that's a huge asset for your team because they're expensive guys. You usually have to pay big picks for them. So if these guys can pan out, it's a big financial and talent lift, and it's kudos for Greer. So let's hope Storm Duck sticks, and he is as good as his name or even better. But it's the receiving group. Guys, I went over, someone in a X thing was like, these aren't running teams we're facing. Jags, Bills, Seattle, and Titans. And Patriots, of course, we know they are, but they're not looking good. They got all kinds of issues. But there's some quality defenses there. And when you see this offensive line, I don't know, is Brewer playing? I don't know. Teron looks like he's playing. He hasn't played yet. Wynn's not playing. We got some issues. I don't want to talk about the offensive line. But it's clear the design, the philosophy is the primary thing for the season, and leverage with these skills, driving all this defensive backs off, forcing teams into smaller looks to open up the run game, all that stuff, the quick throw at Tua, it was unbelievable. I think his clean throw time was like 1:18, which is totally insane. I don't think people realize how talented this kid is and how well this thing is built around that talent, how quick that ball comes out. I've never seen anything like it, really. But this offensive line can't allow things to get too high into the clock as far as pass rush. So the leverage is key. Now, here's a little graphic, you can see right here, of all the guys we got. And there's a lot of concern. I think it's all going to play out good for us at some point. But these early games, we have to go 4-1 at least. And if we want the division, that week 2 game, which I'm going to, and I can't wait, is so critical. It's a must win. So we need all the tools to not allow this offensive line to slow us down. But when you look at it, Mike Harley had a couple catches. He's cut. Willie Snead, I guess because he's a vet, he'll stick. He'll be our number 6. McGowan cut. Burton cut. Sanders cut. He might even go to the IR. He's got some injuries week to week, but we're 3 weeks away from the season, so I don't think that either they're going to keep him. They might do injury settlement or something. Schwartz, he hasn't seen any action. I suppose he's going to be cut. Odell Beckham, whatever's going on here, it's lingering, and it's lingering long. I don't know. I mean, I guess he could because he's such a vet. Pull himself together, 10 days before the game and not go on the PUP. I think that's possible. I wouldn't put that. I wouldn't take that off the table. But he might be a PUP. That means you miss 4 games with him, so he'll come back early as the Patriots game. But it's those first 4 games. I mean, we need guys. Malik Washington's shown some stuff, but it's so hard at receiver. I mean, he's a little bit of an asset, but I don't think he's going to be a clear answer for us to drive the leverage as if, we had Waddle, Hill, and OBJ. And you never know. These guys can't be playing every down, OBJ and Hill. They need guys to take rest, to give them a rest. Taj Washington's IR, River Craycraft, the best blocker by a country mile. Just really a good player. It's a shame injuries keep messing him up. They say it's going to take some time. That's PUP. No, it can't be IR. Definitely. So he's going to miss 4 games at least. Braxton Berrios, inconsistent. He's a special team guy. We're going to keep him. Some people don't want to, but he's going to be the 4 guy. Easy showed some stuff, but it was back end talent. And can you really trust him? Maybe. The guy's super talented, but one preseason game against back end talent, I'm not going to really hang my hat on that, but he's definitely probably going to be number 5. We're definitely keeping 6 with all these injuries. It's not going to be 5. We're definitely keep 6. Tyreek Hill's been a stud, totally healthy, did his thing. He's ready, rock and roll. He's on number 1. But Waddle's been out for a couple of weeks now. He's been shelved. Definitely be available week 1. I don't see any. I mean, if it's not, it's cry or something. But no, he'll be available week 1. But he's been injured, and he's been injured a little bit over his career. And so he might be a little rusty. He might be a guy who can't take as many hits right away. I don't know what the deal is going on. It's very hush-hush. But when you go through this, there's a lot of guys injured. There's a lot of guys that aren't worth keeping. And then the guys keeping, who you got to fill in for Hill and Waddle? Easy, Berrios, Washington, Snead. OBJ's got to make a miraculous comeback. It's going to be a little tough for us. I think it'll be very tough if he misses those first 4 games on IR. But if he's back, I mean, you got Jonnu, who's definitely going to amplify the leverage along with Tyreek and Waddle. And then OBJ can come in, and all these other guys spell a little bit Hill here, a little bit Waddle here. You need Hill and Waddle or Waddle on the field to keep that leverage. You pull them both off, and that's a tough day. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. I know the whole thing. We're going to all be talking about Flores and Tua. I'm just happy that Tua is in a good spot. I think he's a good guy and in some of the worst framework I've ever seen. But remember, guys, if Tua does not succeed this season, they're going to point to him. You got all this contract. You're no good. He will be next up on the firing squad. But there's stuff in the background, this offensive line, all these injuries, the concept of this offense to hold into account along with his production. So I just hope that McDaniel and Tua succeed. But this is making it a little bit scary. It's along with this offensive line, things are getting a little bit scary here. So let's see how it plays out. I think Berrios is definitely making it easy. Maybe Snead, probably Snead, Malik, Odell, man, if he doesn't make it back, big swing to the negative. And if he does, what a surprise swing to the positive. Can you imagine people thinking he's not going to be available and all of a sudden, boom, he's available. And you're sitting there with Jonnu in a tight end and Hill in the slot, flanked by Waddle and OBJ. That's going to be unbelievable. You could see how to move things. With that kind of talent, it's going to be, I think, very, very good. Keep praying for Storm Duck. This is Curtis saying, be well, go Fins, Curtis out. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.